What is up, everybody? It's Tyler Made This. Today I'm going to break down how I made this beat with a loop from Max Shooter in his sample series 2 hit. So this is the loop. Let's get into it. Crazy bounce off already. Now what I want to get into is the changes I made. So what I did is I made I made this unique, and then I made this unique as sample. Now I'm going to play just the melody with these two parts. Regular melody, and then I pitched this down an octave. Now you see, there's this piano playing. I took that, made unique as sample, and reversed it. So now altogether it sounds like this. Fire, right? So now let's just break down the drums. I have a simple clap and then a clap snare layered underneath it. That together sounds like this. I have the clap snare sitting just a little quietly underneath it. It's lesser volume. Next, we have the hat that I made roughly, and then I perfected it once I got the 808 put in, because your hats and 808s are like best friends. They need to be in sync all the time. So these are the hats. And that together with the clap and melody sounds like this. Crazy bounce already. Now, just for some added energy and bounce, there's this Nick Mira open hat that I always use as a crash. It's the tarnish open hat from Nick Mira's Touch Kit, and I will show you that right now. Right under here, hats, open hats, tarnish. I will always use it as a crash in my beats instead of a hi-hat because I feel like it adds that downbeat bounce. So this is what that sounds like with it. It adds that open hat feel, but it also has that hi-hat stutter, so it sounds dope. And in every beat I use, I add my own transition that I used by putting together a Cody riser, a Holy riser, and it's in the Hydra kit. It's called the Guap Crash, and I just put those three things together and made my own transition because I did that every time manually, but now I have this. So it just sounds really dope and it transitions really nicely. But this is what I'm gonna show you the hi-hats and the 808 together, and this is why I said your um hi-hat and 808 need to be like best friends. See how they have this fluidity to them? That's what you want with your hi-hats and your 808. Those two are the driving force of your beat. Same thing with the kick. I added a kick later on and I messed with the hat a little bit. So I'm gonna play it all together, this hook part all together, and then I'm gonna show you what I did for the verse section. But here's everything. Fire, right? These two, remember, they're the driving force of your beat. Your artist that you're working with is going to mainly catch a flow on the hi-hat and the 808. Unless somebody like G Herbo or like G Herbo uses this a lot, People say G Herbo's offbeat. He's really not. If you listen, instead of using the hi hat and the 808 for his rhythm, he uses his flow on the clap. So if you're going for like a G Herbo style beat, your driving force could be the clap, and you could just do something like a little different. But for the most part, your main rhythm is going to be from your hi hat and 808. So keep that in mind. That's why these two need to be best friends. Now the changes that I made to the hi hat is I just made it a little bit more simple, and for like the little fill at the end of the 808, I just made it come back down and I made it a little bit more simple. So this is what that sounds like. I'm gonna play it together with the hi hat. See, I just made it come up and down. And for the hi hat, there's not as many stutters or rolls. I mean, there's rolls, but they're not as crazy as they were in the first one. And just to give it that energy, I honestly just added a kick because I didn't want to take up more space sonically, because I really want to see if I can get an artist on this. So this is what that sounds like with the kick. And yeah, honestly, that's all I have for the beat. It's that crazy. Just keep it simple, and like simplicity is key. Less is more. That's what you're always gonna hear when you look up tutorials on YouTube or any other platform when you're trying to make beats. Because as a producer, we tend to overthink things, and we're like, oh, this doesn't sound crazy enough. This will never get an artist's attention. But the beat that you make that you think is a throwaway is literally 99% of the time going to be the beat that they like the most, because you think it's just empty, it doesn't have a bounce. But you got to remember, the artist's voice is an instrument alone, whether they're singing or rapping on it, because they're the glue. You could post a beat tape and nobody's going to want to look at it or do anything, because it's just a beat, but that artist is the instrument in itself. So I hope you guys like this. I hope this helped you out, and I hope you can catch a vibe from this and hopefully learn something. This has been Tyler Made This. Peace.